One of the most damaging things that can happen for a human being as they grow up is being made to feel like there is something about them that is unacceptable, and it's something about them that they can't change. A real common place this comes up is with sexuality. So if you discover as you're growing up that you might be gay or bisexual or any other sexual orientation that isn't heterosexual, and you tell your parents, or they find out, and their reaction is disgust or disappointment, that doesn't change your sexuality. All it does is it adds shame, guilt, maybe even disgust on top of it. So I still feel this way, this is still who I am, but now the more I show it, so if I try and engage in a relationship, for example, the more I show it, the more I feel it's on display, the more shame and guilt I feel. So the more I try and be me, the worse I feel. And that is just awful. It's such a head scrambler. It also applies to stuff like if your child is not as academic as you wanted them to be, you want them to be a lawyer or a doctor, and they show interest in arts or the theatre or something like that, and your response to that is, no, you're being a doctor and lawyer, or disappointment, or whatever it might be. Actually, it does the same thing. It doesn't change who the person is. It just makes them feel ashamed of who they are. Or, potentially worse, it makes them ignore who they really are and only do what you want them to do, which can be really trapping. So it's quite common, I've come across people halfway through a university course or 40 years into a career, and then when I ask, like, what made you choose this particular approach? And they said, my parents wanted me to do it. I never really liked it, and it's been quite hard. That is not all right. That is really harmful and hurtful. Your job as a parent is to want your children to be happy and healthy. Sometimes what that means is you have ideas about what's going to make them happy and healthy, what they choose to do for a career or the lifestyle you want for them. But that's kind of not the point. If you want them to be happy and healthy, the biggest thing you can do for them is accept them exactly the way they are.